Hi, how you doing? Welcome to Chef's Gear. Today I'm doing something really up my valley, cooking outdoors. I just love it. If you do too, stay tuned. Alright, so today I want to show you a JÄGERITA cocktail and a hot pot. So let's start with the cocktail first. First step to every good cocktail is to fill the glass with ice. You don't want to pour your drink into a hot glass, right? So always make sure the glass is nice and chilled. Second step is to fill this shaker with ice. Let's get everything in, just like so. And JÄGERITA is a sort of derivative from the popular margarita, but it's kind of like the manly version. So it consists of equal parts Jägermeister. I never have enough of that stuff, so 50 grams. Then Cointreau, which is a sort of a citrus liqueur, also 50 grams. Pour that in. And it's a sour, so you need a sour mix, or you can make it yourself. So it's basically also equal parts 20 or 30 grams of sugar syrup, or simple syrup as they call it. In it goes. And some lime juice, also 30 mils. There you go, put that in. If you like it more sour, of course you can put more lime juice in, but for a basic cocktail recipe, that's it. Close the shaker. Now 10 minutes shaker face, 10 seconds. That's it. And get it through a strainer into the nicely chilled glass. Of course, if that would be in a bar, the glass will be on the bar mat. But there you go. That's pretty much it. Whoa, I won't be driving today. All right, so let's get to the hot pot. The hot pot is a wonderful dish. What you put inside is totally up to you. There's no recipe, and please do not follow any recipes. What I'm using for my hot pot, I call it a meat lover chili hot pot. I'm using pork neck, pork belly, nice garlic sausage, of course smoked, celery stalk, celery, onion, parsnip, potato, leek, capsicum, carrot, and tomato puree. I'm gonna spice it up with some sriracha sauce. In order to give some more heat, I'm using Scorpion Tabasco. Well, I just found it on the shelf. It's really hot. If you have any other, will do. And of course, Worcestershire sauce. So you want to start first by bringing the hot pot up to heat. I'm using a Dutch oven made of cast iron. And cooking with living flame, as I call it, is kind of tricky. So it's not as solid as the normal stove, so you have to kind of, well, it's a try and error. You have to heat it up, make sure it's nice and hot, and you basically start adding all your ingredients in. So I already pre-cut the bacon. I put the bacon rind in as well. Of course you have to take it out when you're going to serve the hot pot, but it's going to release all the goodness, all the flavor into the dish. So get the bacon in goes the sausage, and while this is caramelizing, I'm going to cut up the meat. I'm not going to use any gloves or anything. You don't use gloves outside, right? So you want it really nice and chunky. So if you cut it up too small, it's just going to break apart and you won't be able to tell what kind of meat it actually is. Okay, once you've cut up the meat, in it goes. Basically just put all the ingredients in and then you let it stew for a while. But before I put my vegetables in, I like to caramelize my meat. While the meat is caramelizing, let's just prepare all the other vegetables. I'm just gonna cut up the celery stalks. So that's your celery stalks. Let's cut up some mushrooms. Again, just in quarters. All right, you want to cut up some chilies too. I like it really hot, so I'm gonna just chop them with seeds. But if you like them like a little bit milder, of course, take the seeds out and leave out the Trinidad Scorpion chili sauce. But apart from that, I'm just gonna roughly cut it up with seeds just to bring up the heat. I'm gonna use a green one just for color. If you're cooking in a hot pot, my advice to you to do it nice and low and slow. If you want to speed it up though, you just can move the hot burning logs just around the hot pot, which I'm going to do right now. But be careful, because the cast iron is going to catch a temperature really quickly, and even though the hot pot will be closed later on, there's a huge risk you're going to burn it. So better low and slow, better, you know, have a little bit of patience rather than burn the whole thing, right? But I want to speed it up just a little bit. And of course, if it's really windy, and I'm sitting on a bank of the river right now, so I'm kind of surprised it's not that windy, you can use coals. They actually hold the temperature much better. They're much more like a solid, and it's much easier to cook with them. But let's do it the hard way. Okay, I see the meat has already started to caramelize. So that's the time where we can start putting other ingredients in. Let's start with some tomato paste or tomato puree. You can put fresh tomatoes in if you have them. I'm just going to put the chopped tomatoes in, just like so. Let's start with onions, parsnips, the capsicums, the carrots, leek, mushrooms, celery and chili, potatoes, celery. Now, give it a careful stir, make sure that nothing falls out. And basically, if you have really low heat, you could actually close the lid on it and keep it on very low heat for a long time, like 2-3 hours, and just let it steam, and they will just nicely reduce. What I'm gonna do, however, I'm just gonna top it up with some sauces, and I'm gonna add my secret ingredient to it. But first, let's make it really nice and hot. So sriracha sauce, a good squirt. Trinidad Scorpion chili sauce from Tabasco. Be careful with this stuff. And for the extra sweetness, Jägermeister. So for now, I'm just gonna add some water. As the hot pot's gonna cook, all the juices from the vegetables gonna reduce down, they're gonna leak out, and they're gonna cook. So before we close the pot, let's just season it. Lots of salt, lots of pepper, and we can actually put our herbs in. For a dish like that, you just need hard herbs like thyme and oregano, rosemary. So that's what I'm going to use, and you need quite a lot of it. Just get it all on top, give it a nice stir, spread those herbs all around, and now is the time to close the pot. So when you close the pot, just make sure it seals properly. You don't want the steam to just run out on over the edges, otherwise the dish is going to burn. And what you can do, because it works basically like an oven, Dutch oven, hence the name, right? What you can do, you can actually put some burning logs or coals on top. This actually pushes the lid down on one side, and of course it gives some extra temperatures from above. So now it's gonna cook really quickly. "40 minutes in, let's have a look. Oh yeah, that looks ready. But let's take it out. Oh, that's a bit heavy. There you go. Let's try and plate it up. Some sauce with it. All right, that's really hearty. Looks beautiful, smells even better. Get some bread in. Nice soda. Bit of garnish. Some pea shoots. And there you go. Even outdoors you can do some fine dine cooking. My portion is ready, I gotta feed the crew. Alright guys, if you like the recipe, hit the like button. If you want to see more, hit subscribe. Remember to press the bell button in order to see the notifications. If you want to see something else, let me know in the comments. I thank you guys very much for watching. I see you next time. Cheers.